Yo, what's good? This is Logic, hip hop artist from Maryland. You're watching Dead End Hip Hop.
You just right on the stage with me. You been talking to camera.
I just feel like Logic is just, he's searching. He's searching for something that is purposeful and meaningful. I'm good with him leaving music if he's found that and family life is that for him. You know what I'm saying? You've already got the success, you already got the money, you ain't gotta worry about that. If your purpose in life is your family and to help other people by addressing the whole biracial stuff, the whole depression stuff, and being able to talk to people through your Twitch and all of that stuff, then by all means, that's why I'm saying like I'm good with you leaving music, because it feels like your soul is no longer in the music. And if your soul is not there, that's why we get these projects the way that they come out.
It's clearly, like, to me, a God-given talent, right? This dude, it seemed like it's effortless for this guy to write and rap. Like, so I can't imagine doing anything outside of what I do, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I could be tired. I'm still gonna do film. I'm still gonna do photos or whatever. Be creative, right? So when you say that he's trying to find something, like I guess I don't understand that.
So he's trying to find something where people can't say anything negative about it. That's the way I see it.
Okay. It's
like he wants to, and I think that's the absolute wrong approach for an artist when you come into creating art. Like it seems like he creates stuff and then doesn't want anybody to say anything negative or critical about it.
I understand that.
And maybe that's kind of what FIFA is talking about with the whole like finding some sort of purpose. It's like, who's gonna say something bad about your kid?
Right.
You know, but I mean, this shit's gonna travel with him when he goes over to the video game, because video game culture is toxic as fuck. And if he think that hip hop had jokes,
right.
I mean,
it's all about being an artist and like being, the criticism is gonna come regardless. That's just a part of it.
I agree.
You have to understand it as an artist. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like somebody's gonna be critical of my videos. Somebody's gonna be critical of my photos. Like I could think it's the hottest shit ever, but somebody's gonna think it isn't. Like, and I have to be ready and able to accept that.
And when it comes to like journalists or critics or whatever, if you went to school and you took the time, or if you made it your entire life and took the time, you deserve that voice. You know what I mean? But just people like groupthink, fucking herd culture, getting together and just saying a bunch of whack shit about an artist. And I'm not just saying this even about myself. I'm saying, and I don't want to say names of certain artists that I love, respect, that are peers of mine, but it's like I see them just like get torn apart for no reason. And I'm like, this is so stupid.
He sounds way too sensitive about what people say. And maybe it's due to the fact that there were people that he felt personal connections with that were saying these things.
Yeah.
But the thing is, those are the ones that you should respect the most.
Yeah. How you feel about it, Ken?
I thought it was solid. So first of all, I didn't know that he hasn't worked with No ID since the first album, right? And I think that listening to the reunion, I wish he would have worked with No ID a lot more. It felt like they made a real good pair. It felt like No ID was able to kind of contain him a little bit and get him to doing what he do well. And it's going back to what Rod says, like, there's no denying that the motherfucking can rap his ass off. Like that's just that's the one thing you can't say about him. You can't say he can't rap. So it felt like No ID, you know, as the last album to kind of, you know, start here with him and to end here with him was really a good idea. And I think we walked away with a project that I believe is really good. And even I think the content, you know, it's just, he was telling his story, you know, documenting like the events of the last couple of years. And it has been one hell of a ride, you know, to go from a guy that, you know, we barely knew to signing with Def Jam to now a Twitch deal. I mean, that's one hell of an adventure, all because of hip hop. And I think that's remarkable. So yeah, I think the biggest takeaway for me is the fact that I wish we had more No ID Logic albums, because I think most of the albums that I did not like throughout in the middle of that, I probably would have enjoyed. I am glad that he did address some of the things that's going on in the world. Like, he didn't go heavy-handed with it, but he did say something about it. Like, the first time I heard him say something, it was like drive-bys, and I was annoyed. I'm like, come on, man, like drive-bys, that's stereotypical. Yeah, it's just like, but then he actually got into talking about the police and stuff like that. So I thought that was cool, and I'm glad he did say something. But nah, man, I think as the alleged final project, I think that this was a good way to kind of put a bow on his career.
I'm with you. I felt like that, and I tweeted it out, actually. I felt like it, and I was very strategic with my words. I said it sounds good on this first listen, you know what I'm saying? Because I hadn't had a chance to like really listen to the lyrics like that. But I was like, yo, sonically, this thing sounds really good. You know what I'm saying? And it still does to me. You know what I'm saying? Some of the lyrics could be is a little to be desired. I mean, well, not lyrics, but like, you know, the content. But I think for the most part, like you, I think it's pretty solid.
I'm not even gonna front, man. I thought this is a good album. Mm-hmm. This is a good album. I was thoroughly entertained by this project. From the second No Pressure started, I was like, all right, this beat is clean as fuck. Mm-hmm. And Logic came on and he rapped. GP4 was dope as hell to me. It was nice Outkast homage. You know, at times it did kind of sound like some Kendrick Lamar cosplay, but that's okay. You know, I don't think that Logic is as bad as someone like Drake as far as wearing your influences on your sleeve. But he's clearly very influenced by Kendrick, and that's okay. Celebration, I thought, was really fresh. The beat was a little bit extra, but I thought that Logic sounded great on that one too. There weren't a lot of lines on here that really stuck out. Like, he said that shit about, that's why I sleep in a mansion, you sleep on a cot. And it's like, all right, well.
Here we go again.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, dude, like, whatever. But I thought Perfect was good. I thought Man Is was good. I thought Dad Bod was good. I mean, this was a good fucking album. I simply think that this is what happens when Logic steps out of this, I'm trying to be Mr. Overly Creative, and he just fucking raps. And Logic can say whatever the fuck he wants about the things that I have said or we have said, but I've said plenty of times, just fucking rap. We don't need these corny ass stories. Sounds harsh, but it's the truth. Those stories, to me, is what fucked Logic up. He's not great with writing these stories, but when he just raps, I got nothing to say.
Or concept albums.
Say again?
Well, that's what he means.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Writing these stories, like I don't think he's great at pulling these stories together. With the Thalia thing, I thought that was fine to bring it back for the very last. I think it would be weird if he didn't go ahead and wrap up Thalia. Yeah. You know, I thought the beats were all great. Mm-hmm. I thought Logic really rapped. People can call him corny all they want, but y'all, like Ken said, you can't say this man ain't, or maybe you said it. You can't say this man can't rap. You just can't. I think what he did here, where he's alternating flows, he's doing like this kind of shit, then he's flipping to this kind of shit. Mm-hmm. If this album came out like way back when, if this was his actual second album, I feel like he would have been untouchable. And I know a lot of people got upset when I said, well, I think this dude has a masterpiece in him, but whatever album it was that we reviewed, that wasn't it. Mm-hmm. I feel like if I had said that about this album, I feel like the next one would have been it. Because this is the Logic that I think is actually very interesting. He's introspective, he's aware, and he's really putting his heart and soul into these bars. This did feel like a finishing point. Whether or not I believe him or not doesn't really matter, because I still don't think he's really leaving. I think he's going to come back.
I don't think so. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think he's going to come back at some point. Maybe not soon, but he will definitely come back.
I slightly disagree with that, is because I feel like this was a solid album for the discography, but not the closing point that, based off of the trajectory that I felt he was on, that this is where it should have ended.
But the trajectory fucked up. That's the thing.
It did.
And he
took
brought
a
it
hard.
back.
He did.
That's what I'm saying.
Did.
If he ended the career on what was the last album? The one that we really didn't like?
Confessions
If he
of a
ended
Dangerous
the
Mind.
career
he couldn't
on
do that. He couldn't do
Confessions,
that.
he would go down in history as kind of being a popular joke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think for him to bring it back.
He brought it back to respectability.
To what he was known for at the beginning, which is this young dude that has heart and just raps. I think that was really smart. But I think clearly this was his choice. And I think he, through most of his career, as a fan of his earlier stuff, I wasn't fucking with it. But it worked for him. It worked for him. So I can't shit on his career. You know, just because I don't like it and you don't like it and we collectively don't like it, doesn't mean it was bad. So he brought it full circle. He did his thing. Cool. You know, there's still some subtle shits here and there, you know, that most people are not going to understand. So we're not really going to get into. But we see it. I see it definitely. I think it's some punk shit. And I'll just leave it at that. Logic knows. You know what I'm saying? I guess I could have waited until if you watch it.
Like even when this album started, I kept waiting for him to revert back to you know the previous sound and stuff that he did before, and he didn't. And that was surprising. So again, I think that was No ID. No ID reined him in a little bit. But I will say that, and you brought it up a long time ago, but about the topics of depression. I thought that was, you know, listening to some of the things he was saying, I was like, man, that was really interesting. I didn't expect to hear that, and I can't recall him discussing that in the past. Well, he did the 1-800-SUICIDE, but that was more of a overall thing, or was that related specifically to what he was dealing with?
Like, that Dark Places.
Yeah, man.
The Dark Place was.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
At all. So.
You didn't expect him to talk about depression?
Not about his
Personal
bouts with depression.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I did. I don't know why. For some reason, nothing on this album topic-wise surprised me. It was like, all right, this is right.
You kind of expect.
This is where I would expect you to go.
Yeah.
You know, Logic so bad wants to be relatable and wants people to feel his struggle. You know, so why not go ahead and talk about his bouts with depression? Because he wants people to be able to relate to him. You know, when you get a Logic project, he's gonna go all over the board with it. He's gonna talk about his money, but he's also gonna talk about how he was poor. He's gonna talk about how confident he is, how much he loves himself, and how dope he is. And he's gonna talk about how much people have hurt his feelings. Logic is almost like the definition of like a people pleaser when it comes to rapping. Like he wants everybody to love him. So I wasn't surprised that he went ahead and talked about his depression, because he's mentioned how he supports mental health in the past. So it's easier for him to be like, well, I have it, so if you have it, you're like me, we can relate. And I'm not saying that's a business move.
Right.
I'm not putting him in that category. I'm just saying
It doesn't surprise you.
It doesn't surprise me.
I got you.
Favorite tracks, give me GP4, give me Soul Food 2, give me Perfect, give me Man I Is, give me 5 Hooks.
Give me a No Pressure, Open Mic, Aquarius 3, Soul Food 2, 5 Hooks, and I go with Dad Bod.
No Pressure, GP4, Open Mic, Aquarius 3, Soul Food 2, and Man I Is.
So I'm gonna go with No Pressure, GP4, Open Mic, Man I Is, and 5 Hooks.
Logic, if you watching, I just want to say congrats, bro, on starting a family and kind of, you know, starting life after hip hop. I don't know if you are going to come back, but I definitely know when you have a God-given ability, you're always going to have that itch to try to do something with the music. So like Mark, I won't be surprised if you do come back. But if this is where you leave us off, I definitely think it is one of your better studio projects that you've done that with. So I appreciate that. And, you know, just congrats on everything, man. I wish you all the best and success with everything else that you do. So, peace.
Logic, if you're watching, man, good job with this album, because just like I think what people said, no, but it's my favorite studio album from you since Under Pressure. And I mean, is Young Sinatra 4 considered the album, or that was like mixtape?
I think so. I look at it as an album.
Yeah, because that one was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
but
cool.
Yeah, but yeah, this album. I mean, if this is your send off, great job. It's just unfortunate that coming in. I was a huge fan of your Young Sinatra mixtapes, and then it's kind of like you had a little hiccup from after Under Pressure. But I mean, you definitely a great rapper. You can definitely rap your ass off, and I've never denied that talent from you. It's just your storytelling ability sometimes kind of be off, and your themes, some of your albums that I didn't enjoy. But with this one, this is your goodbye. I felt like this was a goodbye, even though I have a feeling you might come back. I can see you coming back in about 3 or 4 years, because I think rapping that's something you just passionate about, and I just can't see you just leaving that just forever. So, but if this is, congratulations on a new family and a new son and everything, and wish you the best.
Logic, I want to open by saying congrats on the baby. As a father, I understand the joy that you can get from that, and it pushing you to considering or going by what you said, retiring. I understand that move. As your final project or your final album, I definitely think this was a good way to complete that career. I do think that moving to Twitch is a good move for you. I think that's something else that you're extremely passionate about. So yeah, I think all of those are good, career moves. I've always, I say this, on the reviews, and for me, it's always about the music, and judging this simply on the music itself, it was a really good project.
Logic, as your final project, this is good. I think it was a smart move for you to move to Twitch. Just so you know, though, with Twitch, you're also gonna find a bunch of guys in the room doing groupthink, so you're not gonna escape that. But hey, man, do your thing. I think it's respectable to leave the rap game to become a good father. Hopefully you learn to take criticism a little bit better with Twitch than you did with this. But I don't really have anything else to say.